Welcome back to my channel. I'm Angie and this is Our Contented Home. In today's video, I'm going to show you the DIY process that I used on this bed to take it from old and worn out to beautiful and a display that I can use in my home. We recently had family come up and I needed another bed, and this one was in my garage, but it was just old and worn and it needed something done to it. I've always wanted to try this process and this was the perfect candidate. I'm going to take you along and show you what I did and how it turned out the way it did. I hope you enjoy. This is the project that I'm working on today. This is an old bed that I have had for a while, and we have family coming into town. We need another bed to set up, so I thought this would be a perfect candidate for a process I've been wanting to try for a while. I want to strip this bed down to the bare wood and just see what this wood looks like underneath all this stain that is starting to come off and not look very good. I'm using a product that's new to me. It's called Green Easy Strip and Clean. Doesn't have all those yucky chemicals in it. And I'm going to put it in the spray bottle. I'll link all these products in the description box below in case you're interested in using them too. You just take the product and you spray it all over your piece of furniture, making sure that every surface is covered. You wait 5 to 10 minutes, let it sit on your project and just soak into the wood and do its magic. I use this scrub brush. You want to use a scrub brush, but not one that has really hard bristles because it'll scrape your wood. And then you just take your scrub brush and you just give it a good scrubbing. You just scrub it all over, and if your product starts to dry out, you just spray it again. You don't want it getting dry. You want it to be wet. So just spray it as needed and keep scrubbing. Now that the footboard has been scrubbed and it's drying, I'm going to start on the headboard. Same process, you just spray your product all over the surface and wait 5 to 10 minutes, and then you give it a good scrubbing. Then you rinse it all off. You can't really tell anything about it while it's still wet. I could see that there was variations in the wood and knew that this was going to need a second scrubbing. As it starts to dry, you can tell more about it, and you could see how the stain was starting to lift off in some places, but other places it was still a little more there than I wanted, so I decided to give it another scrubbing and just do that process all over again. I took it around to the front after it dried, and I did give it a good sanding. And this is looking a lot like I want it to look. The footboard looks really good, I think. And I'm just going to keep working with it because the top had a few issues that I need to address. After the bed has been sanded with 60 grit sandpaper, I noticed that up at the top near the arches, it was coming off a little bit green, and I don't know if it's made out of different wood or what that is, but I saw on the internet where someone had this problem also, and they used Barkeeper's Friend to get that green tint out of the wood. I'll link where I found that in the description box below in case you're interested in that. Also in the middle, this wood was coming off a little more red than I wanted it to, and I want it to be a blonde look. So I may have to do a process that is called bleaching wood. Never done that, always wanted to do it. So I may have to do it on this bed and see how that turns out. For this process, I just took a sponge, some water, and put the Barkeeper's Friend on my sponge, and then just gave it a scrubbing, and I was only focusing on the part of the wood that was coming off green. And so I just gave it a good scrubbing and then rinsed that off and then you can tell that the product really worked on this and cleaned all that green looking wood off. I did wait 24 hours before I decided that I did want to bleach the bed. I just poured household bleach into a container and painted it onto the surface of my bed. You want to make sure that the wood is clean and that you paint it on in even strokes, making sure there's no drips, and that you apply the same amount all over the bed. You allow this bleach to dry for at least 4 hours, and then you have to neutralize the bleach with vinegar because it will have a chemical reaction with anything you put on it afterwards. I just used a 50-50 ratio of vinegar and water, and then I just wiped it onto my bed with a rag. You want to make sure all the areas are covered and that you rub it all over the area that had bleach. When you bleach wood, it can be a little bit rough to the touch, so I did give this a good sanding with 120 grit sandpaper. Now it's time to style it. I picked up these sheets at Target. They were on a really good sale. I'll link them in the description box below. And I did just pick up a white quilt to put on this bed. And then I just made it up and got it ready for styling. I hope that you found inspiration with that video, and if you did, please leave me a comment. Also, let me know if you like these types of videos so I will know what kind of content to share with you. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you're new to my channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button, and you can also find me on Facebook and Instagram at Our Contented Home. I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.